been a long day. Okay, so just to kind of repeat what I did is I was back at Prezi, and then on the Prezi itself, I was on the Share tab, and then I made sure that I went to the Embed tab, and I copied the Prezi code to the clipboard, and went back to the site. I'm going to push cancel. Yep. So on the site, I put in these real big, put Prezi here, with exclamation marks and other things to draw my attention. Sometimes I'll put a nonsense word so I can Command F find it if there's a lot of stuff on the page. And then I go to the HTML button, and the HTML button is going to let me embed the code. So I find that spot where it says put Prezi here, and I highlight it, and then I paste the code, then I can do update. Now when you embed almost anything into a Google site, you're like, it didn't work! What happened? It's like a big vanilla box. Have you ever gone to a website and it just takes forever for the website to load, right? And so what they're doing is they're saving you from that. They're going to load it all at once so that you can keep editing and keep working without waiting for it to load whatever it is you embedded. So as soon as I hit save, you'll notice the Prezi is right in there. If you want to, I'm going to click edit again. If you want to put in a PowerPoint, the easiest way to do that is to use Google Drive. So I'm going to do Command T. I'm going to go to drive.google.com. And is anybody here not using Google Docs? Does anyone never use Google Docs? Oh, I've completely moved over to it. It's such a nice treat. So drive.google.com, it comes with your Google Apps or your Gmail. And then when you click on Create, you can create a presentation. So if you haven't made the PowerPoint yet, just make it in Google to begin with, and it'll make your life easier. If you already have the presentation, you have a PowerPoint, you go to Upload. And so when I click on Upload and I upload files, I don't know if I have a PowerPoint on this computer. Here we go. All right, so here I've got a PowerPoint. So I can go ahead and browse for it. Now what I have it do is I have it convert my document. So I take it from PowerPoint and I turn it into a Google presentation, because that's the easiest way to get it onto the site to embed it. To embed a PowerPoint regular is hard. So I have this as my default to Ask Me. And I just click Start the Upload. And if you are on your settings wheel in your Drive, you do have upload settings. And the upload settings is where you can manage your, you can tell it to convert, and you can tell it to confirm. So again, I'm on the settings wheel in my Google Drive. And hopefully we'll have a video of this. At the very least, we'll have visuals. And visuals will be very helpful, even if my voice is not working. But I think it is now. Okay, yes. Okay, so if I go to my Drive, sure enough. So now you can see, if it had uploaded as a PowerPoint, it would have had a P for PowerPoint. And it's just saving it there like it's a thumb drive, but I wouldn't be able to embed it. So you really do want to convert it. And of course, when you upload and it converts, the fonts get a little funky and the pictures made. So I actually have very good success when I import them over, that it doesn't look too super funky. And once in a while it's crazy funky, but usually it's pretty good. I do the website for Clovis High School, and they just send me PowerPoints, and I convert them, and I never change them. They look good enough. You see, this doesn't look that bad, right? Looks pretty good. So it imported it pretty nicely. So if you have a Google presentation in your Google Drive, all you have to do is go to the Insert menu. I love the Insert menu on Google because it has so many things I can insert, and one of them, oops, Insert, is Presentation. So I just go Insert Presentation, and then I can just check it. It's going to go in order of when you last edited it. So I just now uploaded it, so you notice it's at the top. So it's easy to find. And I hit Select, Select, and Save. All right, and so you'll see that it is embedded right in there. Okay, questions? We have a lot of stuff we're going to go over, so I apologize. Hopefully the video will help. And I won't delete this website, so you can use that as a sample. Okay, so then you're supposed to have a reflection blog. So what we're going to do is make a new page. Now again, these buttons only show up if you're signed in. So if the buttons are missing, the sign in button is actually at the bottom of the screen. You have to click sign in. So I'm going to do new page. And I'm going to, I'll just call it blog. We can do reflection blog. And I don't want a web page, I want an announcements page because it's a blog. Announcements always puts the current stuff on top and pushes the old stuff down. So you're going to do blog as announcements. Someone's trying to send me a message. Okay. Stop that. Okay, create. Right, so then I have my blog. So then what you should notice here is the difference is it says a new post button. The page makes a new page for the site. New post makes a new article for your blog. And if you accidentally do the wrong one, and probably you will, you're going to have to just copy and paste. Go to new post and copy and paste it from the other page. So what are we going to have here on the blog? If I click on the pencil icon, it is going to edit the header. Okay, this is my header. Do not put your information here, because that's another easy thing to do is you make a post, and then you want to edit the post, but if you click on the pencil, you don't edit the post, you edit the header. So sometimes it's nice just to make yourself a note that says, not here. So what are we going to do in here? You're going to model for students how to reflect on materials. Model for students how to reflect on materials. Deep thinking. And she has some examples. Questions for the text. Instructor, material. Choose one lesson. 1 page long. So anyway, those are just the highlights that I read out of that. Please make sure you read the actual directions. So I'm just putting that in the header. I'll leave it up here. Let's just do a couple of quick sample pages, posts. So I'm going to click Save. And then I'm going to click on New Post. And it looks a lot like a page, so I'm just going to call this Sample Post 1. I can put stuff here. And then I'm going to hit Save. So what you'll notice is that the New Post button is gone, and it makes it really tempting to push the New Page button. So what you have to do is you actually have to click on the word blog to get back to the main blog page. You can do that in the breadcrumbs, or you can do it over on the side in the sidebar. So when I get back, it says New Post again. So why don't you go ahead and click New Post again. Sample page 2. This isn't the one where they do the side-by-side, is it? Okay.
I'm sorry. You hit blog. You made it a blog.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do it again. So what it does, you'll notice here on the side, it's making sub-pages. So in order to get back, I have to click on the main page, which is the blog page. So I have to actually click on the word blog, either here or there.
You made a new page blog. You made it a blog.
I made it an announcement style.
Announcement style.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were that far back. I apologize. Do you want me to show it again? All right. Here, I'll just do it real quick. I go to a new page, which is the new page button, not a new post. And then when I'm in here, I typed blog. And instead of web page, I choose announcements. Okay? Cancel. All right, now let's try and edit sample post number 1. And if you click the pencil, notice what you're now editing, where it says this is the header. So that was not right. And you'll do it. I do it all the time. You have to actually click on the title of sample post 1. So I click on sample post 1, and then when I click the pencil, I'm editing this page. Now I am editing my post. I hit save. So you have to click on the title so you can edit that particular post when you want to go back and edit. Questions? So far, so good? All right. Ready for another page? Okay, so we're making a page, so you are going to use the new page button up at the top. New page, and we're calling this one Vocabulary Builder. Okay, save, create, rather. So I have my vocabulary builder page, and we need to introduce 2 tier 2 and tier 3 words. Frayer model. Now this is where you had the word, the definition, and the picture, right? Okay. Table, insert a table. Okay. So one of the things you could do is if you go under table, kind of up at the top it says table, insert a table. I'll do a 3x6 maybe, and I'll do this one is the word. This one was the description, definition, and then have a picture. It will grow bigger. If you don't like the way that it does that, for those of you who know a little bit of HTML and that doesn't completely freak you out, you can actually click on the HTML button and you can change the width from being 60, like I'll make that 200. If you don't know what I'm doing, then don't worry about it. You see I can manually make the column widths a certain size if you know how to edit the HTML, but let's just not go there. Okay, but if I want to insert a picture, I'm just going to go ahead and put my cursor where I want the picture to go. And then my favorite thing about Google Sites is the insert menu. So I insert image. And I'll choose a file from the desktop. I don't know, I have some screenshots in here. This one's going to be huge. And oh my gosh, my picture is ginormous, and it's taking over my whole web page. So what's really cool about Google Sites is it creates this little toolbar here. Let me zoom in on this. And you don't really get this with other websites. It will automatically resize pictures. So I push S, it'll make it a small picture, medium picture, large picture. So if you insert your picture and it's just ginormous, sorry, I clicked away from it. You just click small and now I have a small picture. So it auto resizes it. If you lose that and you're like, oh, that's too small, you just have to click back on the item itself. So once I click on it, that toolbar of options comes back. Do you have anything to add for this page? Okay. Any questions? Okay.
So a form.
Oh, insert a Google form?
Either a form or a graphic organizer.
The graphic organizer one? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Can everybody get into their Google Drive? I liked this so much when I did it with your class before. I made an assignment with my class.
I think some of my students in the other class have it. They're making a Google site.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. They always try to do something like that. And see, like they have to do a project for my class too, and they have to do a separate site. I put that in big letters. Okay, so when you're in your Google Drive, you're going to click on the Create button, and I'm going to create a drawing. They updated the icons today. So I'm going to create a drawing. Okay, create a drawing. So a few things, anytime you do any kind of a Google product, you need to name it and share it. Name it and share it. So I'm going to click on Untitled Drawing, and I'm going to just call it Sample Drawing 1. I don't know. You will want to make it something meaningful for yourself. We're making a graphic organizer. And then you see this padlock. Here is the problem with Google. It always looks good to you because you're signed in. But when someone else goes to your site, they're not signed in as you, so all the stuff you could see, they cannot see. So I don't, before I put anything on the page at all, I name it and I share it. So click on the blue share button and then make it public on the web or anyone with the link, whichever you feel comfortable with. And I hit done. So I'm going to do that again. I click on the blue share button. I want it public on the web, so I had to click change, just like we did with the Google site. Okay, so once I'm in here, I can actually make drawings, just kind of like paint and things that you've probably done 100 times. But what we're going to do, Control-T on the PC, Command-T on the Mac, go to a new tab, and I go to images.google.com. Images.google.com. And I type in graphic organizer. Images.google.com. And I type in graphic organizer. And I find whichever graphic organizer that works for me. The skeleton one looks awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do when I click on my picture, I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy the image URL. Now I'm using Google Chrome, so mine says copy image URL. If you're using a different browser, it might have different vocabulary, like copy image address, copy image location, copy image something. So I'm going to do copy the image URL, and then I go back to my drawing, insert, image, by URL. So it's the third option. I'm going to insert an image by URL. By the way, you can insert an image by a snapshot, which you can use your webcam or document camera. Command-V, Mac, Control-V, PC. I'm going to paste the URL, and it should bring up my picture. If it didn't work, then it's not, I don't think you can do GIFs. It has to be like a PNG or a JPEG file type. Select. My image is too large. Aww. Alright, I'll get a different one. Copy the link address. Insert image. I've never seen that one before. It says it has known. Thank you. That was my mistake. Copy the image URL. There we go. Go in. Do it. Okay. If it doesn't fill up the page, you can grab the corner and expand it. But what's nice about this is now I can edit that graphic organizer and I can start filling it in. So you'll notice up in the top that I have text boxes. So I just click on a text box and I have no idea what would go in here. Something goes here. But I'm able to now fill out my graphic organizer for my example. So back in my vocabulary builder page, I click on the edit page pencil. If I go here to picture, I should be able to go insert. In this case, I'm going to insert a drawing. So if you make a drawing in Google Draw, there's my sample drawing. Select. And then you can decide how big you want it to be. So you see how that's the size. Let me hit save. If that's too big, you can modify. You see how it gave you default height and width? You can change that. So I went to Google Drive. I made a Google drawing. I made it public. I drew my picture on there, and then I inserted the drawing back on the page. So when you go to insert, if you made a drawing, it should be on the list. Insert, drawing. It should be in the order that you, here's a stolen graphic organizer. And you'll see it has a height of 300 and a width of 400. You can change that if you want to. You can also take off the borders and stuff. Save. Oh, there it is. I didn't have my cursor in the right place. That is a fabulous graphic organizer that I stole. The big yellow dot on it. Awesome. Okay. Questions? I know it's a lot. I'm in room 157 from 7 to 10, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays if you want to come visit me. Has anyone been in 157 with all the new computers and everything? It's, oh, sorry. It's not being used right now. You could use it from 4 to 7. He was wrong. He told me the same thing. He thought that Roy was in there, but it turns out Roy's on Wednesday and not Thursday. So if you wanted to move down there, I think you can. Because he told me I could move my office hours down there. I said, nah, I'll just leave it where it is. So 2 to 10 on Thursdays, I'm here. Okay, text set. So we're going to make a new page. So again, on the new page button. And this is where we read some text, right?
They do, no, the text set is they put
Okay.
in different texts like YouTube video, an actual textbook cover,
Okay.
a novel, image, something. Posters, music.
Okay. So text set. I'm going to create just a web page. All right, how many of you have ever recorded directly to YouTube? That's not the read aloud, think aloud, is it? Is that what I'm thinking? I'm thinking the read aloud, think aloud. So this is just to go find a YouTube video. Okay, so I'm going to Command T. I'm going to go to youtube.com. PC people use Control when I say Command. So I'm on YouTube, and I'm going to find a really awesome video about poo and parabolas. I made it. So I have this iPad video. If you've never used the Doodle Buddy
Sergeant
app,
Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and has
I work
the
for
medals
YouTube, and I have to review
Soon after
videos,
leaving-
and I have to watch a lot of these ads. Okay, so it's not very good quality here, but anyway, if you right-click on the video, you can copy the video URL. If I right-click on the video, I can copy the video URL. You can also just copy it from the address, but one thing that's kind of cool, if I right-click, notice the second option is it will copy the video URL at the current time. So you ever tell somebody, like, oh, this is a great YouTube video, like, start watching it at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. If you queue it up to 3 minutes and 12 seconds and then right-click and copy the video URL at the current time, you can actually share that link with them queued up. Now, they may have fixed this, but if you embed it, it won't embed queued up. You just share the link queued up. So I'm going to try it because I'm hoping that they fixed it since I last tried it. They are always updating, so it's worth a try. So text set, I'm going to say, here is my YouTube video. I'm just going to type that. If I highlight the text, there is a hyperlink icon in the toolbar up here. Link. I'm going to click on that. This is where it gets a little tricky, is because I don't want a site page, I want a website. So I do web address, link to the URL. I'm going to paste that. I like to always have it open in a new window. That's your choice. So I'm going to click OK. So it should be, if you'll notice at the end of this, see how it says T equals 2S? It's going to, the time starts 2 seconds in. So if you click on that link, it's going to do that. So I'm going to try and see what happens when I just embed it. So to embed it, I go Insert. Love the Insert menu. Insert, Video, YouTube. Insert, Video, YouTube. And you just paste your link. I'm going to change this to 12 seconds so I can...
Copy the embed HTML and copy the video URL.
Not the embed, just the URL. Good question. Yeah, just the URL. And they give you some examples here where it's just the link. All right, so, and again, when I insert anything, you're like, what happened here? So don't panic. As soon as you hit save, it's going to show up. So let's find out. When I click play, it starts at 0. Dang it. It's hopeful they had fixed it. They've done a bunch of upgrades on YouTube. So if you wanted to do it as queued up, you have to use a hyperlink. If you just want to embed it, you can go Insert, Video, YouTube. There's some other workarounds for that too. If you'd like to get the textbook cover, Command T, I'm going to go to Images. If I have less than 42 tabs open, something has to be wrong. I just do Command T all day long. And so I'm going to look up The Great Gatsby. So I get my book cover. So we kind of did this before with the drawing. Looking for my power cord. Just have a lot of pockets. So I'm going to pick my favorite Great Gatsby book cover. And I probably should have typed in Great Gatsby book cover. It would have given me more specific. But I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy the image URL. Copy the image URL. This is totally stealing other people's bandwidth and it's considered rude, but I'm doing it anyway. If you don't want to do that, you could save the image as, which is still stealing copyright, but you could save the image and upload it if you want, but it's just faster. I copy the image URL or the image address, copy the image URL, and back on the site, pencil to edit, insert image, and when I insert the image, instead of browsing for it, I choose web address. Paste. So now I've saved myself from downloading it and uploading it onto there. It's much quicker. Totally rude. Okay, put okay. So I have the book cover in there. What else should I? Okay.
Music videos, so it would be videos or
Pictures.
pictures.
Okay. Okay? So if you didn't know how to steal pictures off the internet before, now you do. Super helpful. Okay, read aloud, think aloud. We're going to make a new page. Click on the new page icon. Just going to call it read aloud. You can name it what you like. Okay, so we're going to do a sample read aloud on a piece of text. And we're going to create a video and post it to the site. So this is where it gets really fun. We should turn off the light. Okay. Command T. I'm going to go back to YouTube. And if you didn't know this, when you click upload, so there's the upload button at the top. In fact, they just updated this in the last few days. This video editor one, that's new. But on the side, you notice it says webcam capture. So if I click that, yep, enable that. Allow. Okay? I need something that's quasi a book. I've got this nice bookmark. Oh. And I just click start recording. Well, this is my book, and it's a really good book. And it's by Fresno State. And at Fresno State, you can go to the Learning Center. And I'm pretty sure that the Learning Center is for learning. And then they have an address here. It's at the library. Now, people don't really go to the library anymore, but trust me, the library is cool. You should go. So tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. So enjoy my book. And then I click stop recording and it is upload. Don't forget to hit upload. Now it's on YouTube. So that's the quickest and easiest way to get a video on YouTube. Just use your webcam. You can also, of course, do it from your phone. Okay. I'll just leave those settings. And do you notice how right now it's trying to make me post that video on Google Plus so all my friends think I'm extra super weird? So I'm going to uncheck that. That's a new thing. So I'm going to save the changes. Make sure it's public. Then back on my page. I go in, oh, excuse me, I need to get the video link, right? Alright. Usually if I upload, it puts the link right there, but apparently on this one it doesn't. This was really awesome. I did a conference the other couple months back, and in the morning I checked it, the YouTube, how to do the thing, and then I went to go do it was a 5-minute demo slam. And in the 3 hours since I checked it to make sure it works, they updated it, so all the buttons are in different places. Awesome. So they updated it and the link doesn't show up. Okay, so upload. Next to the upload button is this little down arrow for Video Manager, and that's where you can find all of your videos. So you can see here's the webcam video that I just made.
Well, this
See,
is my
went
book,
straight to
and it's a
YouTube.
really good book, and it's by Fred.
Right, so I'm going to get the URL for that. And then we just did this a second ago. So insert, video, YouTube, paste, save, and I've got my read aloud right on the page. That's cool.
Alice, what happens if the schools don't know?
Yeah, you can use Vimeo. You can upload it to Google Docs, yes. That's a good point. But either way, you're going to have to do your video not in YouTube. You'd use your phone, or if you have a Mac, you have what's called Photo Booth. And you can record using Photo Booth or iMovie. PC users, I'm sorry. No, you can probably do it from the Movie Maker. What do you got? You can do it from Facebook? Yeah. So whatever, there's got to be, you have a webcam on your computer, there's got to be a way for you to record a video somehow besides YouTube. YouTube's just the easiest. A lot of schools don't have Vimeo blocked or SchoolTube. So, or SchoolTube and TeacherTube. That's SchoolTube.com, and then there's TeacherTube.com. So the problem with SchoolTube and TeacherTube.com is they require that somebody looks at it to make sure it's a safe video, so it can take a few days. So you'll upload it, and you have to wait a few days before you have access to it, which can be a problem. So, but there's definitely different hosting sites where you can host your video. So in that case, if you just go to My Drive, if you've made it, this is the upload button. And so you can upload your video into your Google Drive. And then in the same way that you insert a YouTube video, I don't have any in there, so this won't look so great, but I go insert video. And if I do a Google Docs video, because I saved it to my Google Drive, then I'll be able to embed it also.
So you can't take a YouTube video, upload it, and then convert it to Google Doc video?
Well, not legally,
Oh.
but there are ways to do that, yes. There's a really good Firefox extension. If you use Firefox, that will just download your video pretty easily. It just has like a little icon and it just downloads your YouTube videos. Yeah. So I'm not sure. What the ones that I use, they don't work here because it's illegal, so they keep shutting them down. So the one that I used to use doesn't work anymore. But it's not that hard to figure out. Trust me, you guys can figure out how to download a YouTube video, right? I didn't say that. That it's totally illegal, and I'm not recording that. Don't put this on YouTube. Okay, it's not legal. Okay, so that's read aloud. We're good. Okay. Differentiation, yes.
Camtasia, you familiar with that?
Yes.
It's a really good screen capture
Is.
thing, so you could
So does
screen capture
Snagit.
the lesson you have on there with your voice over it, and that would be something you could do as well too.
So TechSmith.com. TechSmith.com, they have Snagit and Camtasia and Jing. All of these, all three of them will make videos, screen capture for you, and you can upload it to their server, the videos, and do that. So if I'm doing it something like Vimeo or the TechSmith, Camtasia, Snagit, I really like Snagit, especially my PC users. It's a way to do screen captures and annotate them up. It's really a nice product. But you'll get that embed code. So once you get the embed code, just like we did the Prezi, I type, asterisks and in capital letters, put the video here. And then I can click on the HTML button. And the HTML button, I can then paste that code in. That's how I would get it in. Okay. Differentiation. Create a new page. New page.
You can actually call this one
Assessments. Cool. What kind of thing are we putting in here?
Just different. It's really.
Just put a test. So want me to show them how to make a Google quiz? Do you want me to show them how to make a Google quiz?
This one do that.
Forms, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, this is where you have your own.
Okay. This is where I would do the side by side with the Red Riding Hood. Okay. So one thing, if you're familiar with flipped teaching, that's very popular, is the idea is that things that you could just Google or that students could really read on their own or watch a video, you let them do that learning independently, and then when they're working with you, you're doing more critical thinking, project-based, more interesting type activities. So a popular way to do this is under layout, you choose 2 columns. So I'm going to do a 2-column layout. And then what I would do is I would put the text or video on the left-hand side. So here is my video. Here is a story about Little Red Riding Hood. Here is the information I want you to know. I'm going to put some content. I'm going to put some content here for them to access. Okay, and so then on the right-hand side, I insert a Google form. So to do that, you have to make a Google form, so I'll show you that in 1 second, but I just go Insert, Spreadsheet Form. And then it shows me my different forms. I'll do the sample quiz. So just like I inserted the documents and the pictures, you can just check it from the list. Save. And again, it always embeds generically. So when I hit Save, then I have the content side by side with the quiz. Now obviously I want the quiz to be a check for understanding from sort of an assessment. So these questions make no sense in the context of my Little Red Riding Hood story. But I'm going to show you how to make that quiz. So again, I would be back in my Google Drive. Has anybody never made a Google form? Okay, great. They just updated forms last week, so now they're different. Awesome. Actually, they're much better. So when you go to the Create button, you're going to create a form. I'm going to get started. And so this is my check for understanding sample. And if I tend to not do a theme, I mean, working with little kids, it can be fun, but it also just really clutters up the page. If you're thinking about cognitive load where they're trying to focus on your reading, the pictures can actually be distracting from the learning process. So I'm just going to click OK with the default. So notice this setting here that says requires Fresno State login to view it. I'm going to uncheck that. That can be very annoying. And then it says choose response destination. So this is new. It used to automatically go into a spreadsheet. it does not automatically go into a spreadsheet anymore. So I have to check new spreadsheet, but you can also merge it with an old spreadsheet. So if you're just kind of having people add new information to a spreadsheet, that's actually a pretty nice feature. Or you can have no spreadsheet and keep it in forms. I'm a spreadsheet nerd, so I always have it go to a spreadsheet. So I checked this checkbox that says always create a new spreadsheet. I'm not going to do it because then I won't be able to get back. But I'm going to create that would go to a new spreadsheet. And that's really nice because then when the students fill out their quiz, then all of their answers and work is in a spreadsheet in one place, and you don't have a bunch of papers to collect. So this is my, what is your name? I just put in the question. And it says that it's multiple choice. I probably don't want what is your name multiple choice. My recommendation is to always ask for first name separate from last name, especially if you're a high school teacher. And then I'm going to just, it says here add items, so I can start adding question items. So you notice I can do a multiple choice, check boxes, choose from a list, on a scale of 1 to 10, and then a grid is actually a rubric, so I love to have students self-assess themselves on the assignment and filling out the rubric on the grid. So I'll just do a quick multiple choice. What color is Red Riding Hood's hood? Blue, red, orange, yellow. Make it required. Hit done. Now, probably you want to do more than one question, but it also depends, obviously, on what you're having them read or do. Maybe you only want to do one question. So this is new also, is where it's real easy to edit the confirmation. So you might want to say, thank you for doing your homework. You now get 5 points. If you don't want them to fill out the form twice, I mean, you really can't keep them from filling out the form twice, but you can uncheck that checkbox so it's not quite so easy. So show them a link to submit again. The second checkbox, you don't want to do that. It shows everybody in the class's answers. Sometimes that's nice if the whole point is to generate conversation, so you start it and then see what other people answered, but otherwise you don't want to do that. You just click View Live Form up at the top if you want to see it, but I don't have to do that because, again, I just want to embed it right in my site. So I'm going to delete this. And that one that I just made, Insert, and I know this is weird. It says Spreadsheet Form. I bet you they changed that vocabulary since they just changed the forms. But remember, the form dumps into a spreadsheet, so it has the word form. That's the one we're looking for, form. Check for understanding, select, save, and it puts it in there. Is that okay? Questions? Okay, comprehension.
You know what? The one you just did is actually comprehension.
Oh, that one was comprehension.
So that's fine. You can call it assessment.
Okay, so what's differentiation?
Differentiation is really just giving them choices. Like you can do an essay, you can
Okay,
create a
so
skit,
we'll just do new page. Okay, differentiation. Put something in here that gives students choices. Oh yes, in a rubric. So that might be a fun place if she's up for it, is trying to do Google Forms and use the grid style question so that when the students go there to do their assignment, not only do they see the rubric, they can fill out the rubric and self-assess. And if you're going to do a rubric, you just might want to do table, insert the table to set up your rubric. So that's obviously an option. Okay, content literacy. Just insert a writing sample. Okay, so I'm going to create a new page, content literacy. Create. So you can just type your writing sample. But if you want, you could do it in a Google Doc, and you could go Insert, Document. Here, I'll share these gamification notes from my presentation this weekend. So hit Select. And so what's nice about this is once you can insert it totally blank. Like you can just go make a new document. You go to Google Drive, you create a document. Don't forget to make it public, right? Blue share button, blue share button. And then you insert the document and it's totally blank. But if you go back later and edit it, it automatically updates the web page. So, you know, and you can say I can scroll and embeds really nicely. So if you want to have some of the formatting options of being more like a Word document, you might want to choose that option, if that's okay with you. Okay. All right. Critical literacy. So I'm going to click on the piece of paper here. Critical literacy. Create. Post a question for students to develop critical literacy around the content. So we're going to post a question, right? But here's what I would do. I would still go back to my Drive. So you see, half of all my solutions involve Google Drive. And I'm going to make a form. Content literacy sample. Sorry, critical literacy. Read the long line. I'm going to uncheck the require Fresno State login. I don't want to require it. And then I'm going to ask the question. Here is the question I am asking the student. And instead of multiple choice, I'll do paragraph text. And obviously I want to add a question. What is your name? I also like to ask for their email address just so that I can respond back with feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to do text. Email address. Because all their answers will go into a spreadsheet, so I actually just make an extra column and I give them individualized feedback right in the spreadsheet. So that's a really good student motivator, is them knowing that you're going to give them feedback back that's meaningful. And the more immediate it can be, the better that it is. And so by putting it into a spreadsheet, you can actually run a mail merge where you can email your whole class at once. So I just go down my spreadsheet and I answer all the students, and then I just email everybody at once their feedback back. So instead of collecting it on paper and then trying to hand it back, they can get their answer right away. It's kind of hard to do with little kids, but if you're interested in that, you can go to my website, alicekeeler.com, and I do have blog posts on, just look at mail merge. Go, mail merge. Using a mail merge script in Google Spreadsheet. So I'll show you how to do that. This other one for taking the hassle out of students turning in assignments you might really like, because when a student fills out a form, there's a script that'll merge it into a document. So you can fill out a whole template, like a graphic organizer type template, but for Word documents. And whatever they fill into the form automatically gets put in there. So you make sure that they have the right header, and you make sure that everything that you want them to put content-wise is visually the way that you wanted it. But it also makes it so it's shared with you and the student so you can collaborate. So if that's something you're interested in, you might want to check that out. Okay, so look up mail merge. So I'm going to post a question. So I made the form, right? So I'm just going to insert spreadsheet form, just like we did. There's my critical literacy sample. Save. Save. So students can see the question and they can answer it right on the spot. And then it really makes for an easier way for you and the student to collaborate and communicate and give feedback. Okay, that's all the pages. And then I want to remind you to make your page culturally diverse, to put the image. I just click on the blue share button. Just gets me quick and dirty into the back end. And then I go to colors and fonts. Colors and fonts. And then you can see there's lots of options for changing different parts of your web page. So you can go through and customize your web page that way. Okay.